What's going on, Who Dat Nation? Happy Victory Monday. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. We're going to go through the latest updates around the black and gold after the win against the Carolina Panthers here on Saints Now. We go live every single Monday. We go live every single game day, and that's why you subscribe to the channel. Anytime there's breaking news, we make sure you are covered. My name's Trizzy. That's Loco Lopez. Hope you guys are excited for today's show. If you're still pumped up about the win over Carolina, we have the highlights on behind the camera right behind us. I'm literally watching Chris Olave in his long touchdown right here. I mean, absolutely just dusted Carolina, and then he catches it, gets to stroll into the end zone. What a beautiful play. I'm so happy about this win. I'm so fired up. And if you are too, give me a me in the comment section. I see Terrell. I see Ricky. I see Jartavius, Jerry G, Pelicans, Nola, Jartavius, Ricky, I love football. Good to see everyone rocking and rolling with us here on a Monday afternoon. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank y'all for having your notifications on as well. Alonzo Smith, Stacy Scott. This is the build-up portion of today's live show. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of today's show. We're going to start off with the mock draft. And then we're going to talk about Devaughn Vele and getting him better usage. And then you know what else we're going to do? We're also going to have some fun and talk about some rumors, talk about some news around the league, and answer your questions because I know y'all got some hot takes and some questions to discuss. So make sure you use hashtag Saints. Make sure you like the video, and make sure you subscribe. I see Toby Smith, Pelicans, Nola, Ricky Kell, Brendan McGovern. Good to see you. Dan, good to see you. I Love Football, one of our mods here on the channel. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you get active in the chat. I Love Football says, Trizzy, can I get a who dat, shuck dat? Who dat, shuck that, my friend. Jartavius, me, what's going on? Dan, appreciate you for tuning in. We're going to get into a mock draft. We're going to get into Devaughn Vele because we have an updated look at where the New Orleans Saints are going to be picking in the NFL draft. So we're going to do an updated mock draft because now we have a new way to look at it and some new things to do. And guess what? We're still making trades. Bayou boy, good to see you, says Trizzy. Good to see you, brother. Jartavius, thank you for tuning in. How many yards do you think Devaughn Vele is going to finish with this season? One of the topics we have on today's video is Devaughn Vele. I want you to let me know how many yards you think he's going to get this season. Right now, he is currently at, I should have this off the top of my head, 54 yards. He is currently sitting at 6th in receiving yards, 6 catches, 54 yards, 1 touchdown. For what it's worth, he's had a bunch of them get taken away because of penalties, which is kind of like, meh. But still, needless to say, doesn't change the fact that it's not annoying. You know what I mean? Like, got to get him more usage. You traded a top 100 pick for him. You need to find ways to get more creative with the offense or at least just give him more chances. So how many yards do you think he's going to finish with? I Love Football says 200. 200 yards. I think if you're getting 200 yards out of a top 100 pick, that's not ideal. I want at least 400 or 500, to be totally honest. I mean, if you're getting, that means you're getting 150 yards over the next 8 games.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's not much.
That's bad. That's bad.
One good game from JSN.
Yeah, that's an average game from Justin Jefferson, you know. I want to see at least 500. 500 yards and 6 touchdowns from Jartavius. I think we are going to see more from him. Obviously, Rashid Shaheed got traded away, so I think we're going to see his utilization go up, and I think we're going to see his activity increase and his snap counts increase. We already saw that. We're going to dive into the numbers and the analytics. Really exciting segment in the second one that we're going to get into, the number 2 segment. We have 3 on tap. First one's mock draft. Second one, Devaughn Vele and what the hell is going on with that. And then third, we're going to get into the rumors and mailbag. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. We're going to dive into the next question really quickly, actually it's the deal of the day. I know that we have a lot of fun things going on during Super Chats with the watch party and stuff, but I wanted to keep the party going here on Mondays. So we're going to do $10 helmet stickers, and if we can get 10 helmet stickers on today's video, your boy will shotgun a brewski. And guess what? If we get 15, Lopez gets to join me. So $100 and I'll shotgun a beer. And you $10 per helmet sticker. Normally they're $20, so it's 50% off on the weekly live show. That's why you tune into the weekly live content. So if you would like to get onto the Icy White Saints helmet for the half price, 50% off, $10. You can do that today.
I will say, we're starting to really fill up that helmet.
Yeah, the helmet is starting to fill up. And guess what? If your name is on the helmet, you have an opportunity to potentially win the helmet. So that's the incentive. We might send you a helmet. You automatically into the raffle if your name is on it. So there you go. Jerry G says, salute to all the veterans. Indeed, salute. Jack and beer so early from Dan. Juan says, I hope we see more Devin Neal, bro. He's a good running back. I agree. I want to see more from Devin Neal. Tyler Shough is the future of the Saints from Zach. Shout out your city and state from Jerry G. If you would like to do that, feel free to do that. We're going to get into the video here in a moment. If you guys have a mailbag question, use hashtag Saints. Send in a super chat if you would like to get on the program. We're going to be doing a mailbag in our rumor segment later on, as always. So use hashtag Saints. If you want to skip the line, spend a little extra. If you want to skip the line and spend a little extra time on your question, feel free to send in a super chat, and we will have a good conversation. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite segments we do here at Saints Now by Chat Sports. But if you don't use hashtag Saints, you will not get on the program. That's just the software. That's how it works. I just want to let you guys know that. So use hashtag Saints if you have a question, a hot take, a draft target, a player that you want to sign, an idea for the offseason. It's something fun to talk about. Or you just have some crazy reactions from yesterday's game and you just have some opinions you want the rest of the Who Dat Nation to see. Use hashtag Saints and we'll get you on the show. Lopez, let's dive into the mailbag, man, or the mock draft. I'm excited for this one. Mock draft 4.0, because we have been doing mock drafts for weeks now, and we have been involved in the draft talk for quite some time. Let's see.
Dude, Monday's starting to hit me. Hitting that wall. It's a long day.
Yeah, I know.
Day.
I didn't get to finish my Celsius either, so I'm kind of like already dragging a little bit, but we're going to make it happen. All right, if you're ready for the mock draft, if you're ready for the Saints content, make sure you drop a like on this video. Really helps the channel reach more Saints fans. It also helps you find our content later on a little bit easier. So hit the thumbs up icon if you haven't already. And without further ado, Lopez, we're going to dive into our mock draft. Let me get my timer up. This one is Prize Picks as the sponsor. And let's dive on in. Yes. It's time for Mock Draft 4.0 here on Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trizzy Trace Girouard. We've been doing some mock drafts and some draft conversations here on Saints Now for quite some time because New Orleans is at the top of the draft. Right now, they currently hold the number 2 overall pick after the win over Carolina. So they actually moved up in the draft order. So we have an updated look at the mock draft. By the way, I want to address this before we dive into it. Sneak peek, no interior offensive linemen were drafted. In this one, I'm operating in the mindset of I would like to spend money in free agency and get extra capital. That's what I would like to do. And without further ado, we're going to hop on in. First things first, we got to trade off the bat. 2027 first-round pick, 2026 second-round pick, and we move back to the 5th overall selection from the Jets. And you know what? I'll tell you what. I think that this is a good idea. Even if you're number 1 or 2, if somebody wants to trade up, you have an opportunity to get extra picks in the future. Why not stack them? So I'm going to move down from 2 to number 5, and I still get one of my favorite targets in the draft. Pick number 1 of our mock draft. Round 1, number 5 overall, Arvell Reese, the linebacker out of Ohio State. In my opinion, between him and Caleb Downs, arguably the 2 best players in all of college football. And I think Arvell Reese is a player who can do a lot of different things at a very, very high level. He can rush the passer. He can drop back into coverage. He can stop the run. And he's somebody that will just increase the overall talent level of the Saints defense. He's worthy of a top premium selection because he is a top premium player. And in my personal opinion, Arvell Reese could really maximize this Saints defense and help make it a more feared unit. And when you consider where the state of the defense is at right now, I think increasing the pass rush, increasing the talent level, increasing the quality of players that you have in New Orleans is a smart decision. So I want you to grade my first pick. A, B, C, D, or F. Do you like Arvell Reese at number 5 overall? Grade the pick down below. For what it's worth, Fernando Mendoza was gone. Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain Jr., Jordan Tyson, and there's somebody else. If that was number 5. So, yeah, there we go. Way to use the math there, Trizzy. Great to pick. Joshua Josephs, the edge rusher out of Tennessee, is my second-round selection. But remember, we have 2 of these because we traded back with the Jets. So we have number 34, which is our own pick, and number 37, which we'll get to in a moment. Joshua Josephs, I really like this player. Just like Arvell Reese, can help increase the talent level of the defense. I want to beef that side of the football up in a big, big way. And Joshua Josephs is a great player to do that. He is good against the run. He is great at rushing the passer. He can create turnovers, and I think that he's somebody who can long-term help you replace Cam Jordan. He's also somebody long-term who can give you the ability to move off of a Carl Granderson, get some draft capital later on if you would like to. And I think that it's always great to have a plethora of talented edge rushers and talented pass rushers and talented guys in the trenches, because that's where these games are won at the end of the day. We have another second-round pick. I went with a familiar face for Tyler Shough, wide receiver Chris Bell out of Louisville. Let me tell you what, Chris Bell is somebody that I think could be a really fun player in New Orleans. I think that he could fit well into this scheme, and I also believe that he's a player that can really help Tyler Shough continue to grow. And he's somebody that I think Tyler Shough has the connection with. Over 700 yards when he played with Tyler Shough, over 17 yards per catch, 4 touchdowns when Shough was his quarterback, and you see the production on your screen this year. I think Chris Bell is somebody who definitely will add talent to the wide receiver room. And for what it's worth, you need to prioritize wide receiver in New Orleans because you don't have a ton of juice there. You do have Jalen Polk coming into the fold whenever he gets healthy because you traded for him, but I think you need to add wide receivers, you need to add talent, you need to add premium players, and Chris Bell is one of those guys I think you could do that with. I also want to add another option, not a wide receiver, but another option, another weapon, not just for Tyler Shough, but also Kellen Moore, Max Clare, a phenomenal all-around tight end. So we've gone 2 defensive players. We've gone 2 offensive players. We've added some juice on the defense in terms of playmakers and overall versatile talent. We're doing the same thing on offense here because I just want to make this roster better. You have a ton of holes. It's not like there's a bad way to go about filling your needs because you have so many of them. Max Clare in the 3rd round, number 66 overall, I think is a really smart decision because he is a good pass catcher. He's really good in the seam. He's somebody that I think is underrated in terms of his athleticism. But I also think that the tight end position you could get a little bit more out of in New Orleans in terms of consistency. And I do think that Tyler Shough would really benefit from having a true tight end because Juwan Johnson is just more of a receiving tight end. And I think that that would take some pressure off of Juwan Johnson and maybe allow him to be more maximized. And Max Clare can kind of learn in the shadows and be a really big contributor in 2 tight end sets and then eventually take over if that's where the world takes him. Now we got some more picks because we have another half of the mock draft to get to. But first things first, got to thank today's presenting sponsor, and that is my favorite app to use on game days, none other than Prize Picks. I love using Prize Picks, and you will too. We have a pretty sweet deal for you. If you download the app today, use code CLNS. You'll get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. I don't know if you know this, but Prize Picks is pretty sweet because of a few key details, but my favorite one is the injury reboots. That's something we just can't control. And how many times have you guys been playing daily fantasy sports? How many times have you been trying to win money on game day and you're like, dang it, my player got out? Or in fantasy football, you have a player go out in the middle of the game. Well, guess what? It doesn't hurt you on Prize Picks. If one of your players leaves a game in the first half and doesn't return, it won't count as a loss. And they put their users first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account all throughout the season. Join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app on Prize Picks. Here's an example of how this works. You could cash in a very, very big way. I think it was $20 to win $390, I believe, for this because you went all demon picks. Drake London and Ted McMillan and an NFC South showdown. The Saints are on a bye week, but I have an NFC South showdown right here. I'm going to be watching this game, and I think both of them are going to find the end zone. And then we have to show some love to our sweet prince, Rashid Shaheed, touchdown against LA. Yeah, come on. We're going to go ahead and throw that one on here too. You cash in a big way if we get 3 touchdowns from 3 different players. I encourage you to download Prize Picks today and use that code CLNS so you can take advantage of the deal we have for you. $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Download Prize Picks. Use that code CLNS to take advantage of the $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup deal. Shout out to Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. All right, let's get back to the mock draft. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I think this is a player as a safety in Toledo that could also help you plan for the long term of the defensive back room. Lopez and I were talking, and we both agreed we'd love to bring back Julian Blackmon if he would be willing to, and if he's healthy and he can still play at a decent level. I think that he's somebody that would be really nice to have in New Orleans, and I would love to have somebody play alongside Jonas Sanker. And Justin Reed, quite frankly, it's not like he's been horrible. I don't think he's been as bad as people say he is, but I also don't think he's been amazing by any means. I would like to see the future of the safety room get a little bit more planning ahead. You have Jordan Howden in the room, but with Emmanuel McNeil Warren, he is really solid as a box guy. He plays mostly in the box. He does drop back deep, as well as a 91.2 overall grade according to Pro Football Focus. Really solid in coverage, really good against the run. He has a 28.6 forced incompletion rate. You see his production on screen. I think that this is a player that could help increase the talent level of the defense, and that's the theme of this mock draft. Increase the talent level of the squad, because the roster just needs to get better. All right, let's keep this thing rocking and rolling. Hollywood Smothers, round 5, number 141 overall, running back out of NC State. I'll tell you what, I think that this would be a fun one. Not only because I think Hollywood Smothers on a jersey in New Orleans would be awesome, I also think that he's a really, really fun player. He's somebody I think you could be very complimentary to the Saints offense and play alongside Devin Neal. I think running back is an underrated need for the New Orleans Saints, and Hollywood Smothers, good player, even better name, might as well add him to the mix. And I do think whenever it comes to running back, you don't need to reach on one, but I think, round 4, round 5, I think that's a good space to try to look for one, because I don't think you need to sprint to get a running back. But I do think planning, again, for life without Alvin Kamara is something the Saints need to do. All right, we got another pick in the 5th round, number 170 overall, one of my favorite picks that I keep on making in these mock drafts, but it's because he keeps on falling to me. And I know a lot of y'all are going to see you say, Trizzy, he's not going to be able to be there at 170 overall. You don't know what the frick you're talking about, dude. Well, here's the situation. When I ran it on PFF, he was there. So I took him. Nick Harbor, very, very interesting player. The production has always kind of been underwhelming, but he is an athletic freak. He is an ultra good athlete, insanely fast. He's like a DK Metcalf light, in my opinion. And I think you need to really consider adding more size to the wide receiver room, especially if you're going to underutilize Devaughn Vele. And you just need to add somebody who can, again, raise the talent level. This is what I keep going back to, but that's such an easy thing to do in New Orleans because you have such a bad talented roster, or such a lack of talent on the roster in terms of high-end talent. Nick Harbor, I don't think this is bad value whatsoever. Round 5, 170 overall. He could help take the top off of the defense, be a little bit of a Rashid Shaheed replacement in that regard. You also can give that role to Chris Olave. You just need more wide receivers. I'm sorry. I love Mason Tipton. I love Brandon Cooks. Just add more juice to that room. Now, another spot that I think needs a little bit of help is the defensive line. We're going to add Bear Alexander, round 6, number 180 overall. He's a really good run stopper, 15.1 run stopping rate according to Pro Football Focus. Mostly lines up in the B gap, and he is another player with an awesome name. Part of the reason why I took him, I'm not going to lie. But I think beefing up the defensive interior is a smart thing to do. As the season's gone on, they've gotten better against the run, but I think that it's never a bad idea to continue to beef up your line and continue to give your defense tools to succeed against the run, because when you have the New Orleans Saints, who have been a terrible team against the run and terrible team against mobile quarterbacks, and that's been a theme for multiple years in a row now, I'm okay with just keep on peppering it because I just want it to stop at the end of the day. All right, let's get back to a recap on this mock draft. I think this is a pretty good one, but I want to hear from you. On a scale of 1 to 100, 1 meaning it's horrible, 100 meaning I aced it, what do you think of this mock draft? Reminder, I got an extra pick in 2027 thanks to the New York Jets because I moved back from 2 up to 5, and we also got an extra second-round pick. Grade it down below, 1 to 100, and let me know your thoughts. And don't be like hesitant to, take it easy on me. I'm really interested what you guys think. Now, a friendly reminder to subscribe to Saints Now by Chat Sports. We've been going live all throughout the season. We'll be going live all throughout the rest of the season, the off season, and all that good stuff. And we'll keep on keeping on. That's because what we do. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hope y'all have a wonderful day. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard for Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time. All right.
One down.
Who had fun? Who had fun? If you had fun, like the video.
Who liked the mock draft?
Who had fun? I see 90. I see 87, 85. Nice.
If you're giving it a high grade, also let us know what your favorite pick was. And you could be boring and be like, oh, I love Arvell Reese in the first round. But, if you really want to get in your bag and be like, you don't know much about Bear Alexander, obviously, because he's a steal in round 6, let us know.
Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm savvy in all of the 6th-round defensive linemen that are there. Not going to lie to you guys. Ricky, Jaden, Brad, Jartavius, I Love Football, Aaron, Zach, Brandon, all hanging out with us. Thank you, guys. Chris Bell is a dog. I agree.
I have heard.
I agree.
And he fits the size profile we're looking for.
Yep. It's what we need. It's what we need indeed. Hey Zeus, what's up, man? Dre, what's going on?
Don't think we should get a line.
See, Dre, I get where you're coming from, but also life without Demario Davis is something to think about. You also need to consider that he is not just a linebacker; he is an edge rusher. He is a guy drops back and cover. He does everything. He's just a defensive football player.
Also, Pete Werner probably will not be on this team at the beginning of 2027.
Yeah, so you could always go Arvell Reese with Danny Stutzman and Demario Davis rotating, and I think that's not a bad thing. With the future of it being Arvell Reese and Danny Stutzman.
Ooh, I see a mailbag question that's getting thrown in there. Shout out Billy D3200. Yeah, I guarantee you will be in the mailbag, Billy.
That's not funny, Billy.
That's fine. Billy, thank you.
That's funny. I don't like that question.
Not too bad. It's gonna be the first one you get.
I know it is.
Yeah.
I know it. Alrighty. Let's talk about Devaughn Vele. Drafted Mekhi Lemon. Jartavius says that. Wide receiver.
I feel like a lot of the second round receivers, everybody's in between Lemon, Chris Bell, and Surratt.
Yeah.
So it's really just what.
And then you throw in Casey Concepcion in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's the same.
There's Burks out of OU.
Yeah. Burks,
He's probably lower in
Boston,
second
out of
round.
Washington,
Yeah, there's a
Boston.
bunch of these guys. You can kind of just which one do you want? Pick one, throw it in there. And
I think everybody's just gonna have their own preference. I like this guy a little bit better. I like this guy a little bit better. But
it's
I think they're all kind of in that same tier.
Yeah, it's I need a slot, or I need a big bodied guy, or I need a red zone dude, or I need a speedster. Depends on what your need is. I totally agree with you. Jerry listing out all of the possible records that we could get. Shout out to Jerry. We'll answer that question there. Elijah Surratt's also my guy. I really like him. He's nice. Chris Bell also could be fun. The familiarity with Tyler Shough could be cool. Could be cute. Jodat Nation, we got that question. Nice. Who dat? How about Alontae Taylor? How about him? How about him indeed? I don't even know who that is. What'd you say? No, I wouldn't. William, was the mock draft made due to yesterday's performance? It's the updated one, yeah. So we have the second overall pick, so that's why we went with the second overall pick. We've been doing weekly mock drafts. If we get top 5 picks back-to-back year, could we get Jeremiah Smith?
Wouldn't be mad about it.
No, I wouldn't mind it either.
I guess it really depends how the wide receiver room looks next year.
Yeah.
Because I know it doesn't look great this year, but we still have to see. Because next year we're going to get more Devaughn Vele, I imagine.
Yep.
We have to see what Jalen Polk looks like.
What are you going to do with Brandon Cooks?
Brandon Cooks, he'll be his second year next year on his contract. So
He's probably out.
So by the time Jeremiah Smith draft rolls around, Brandon Cooks will be on the team.
Yeah.
Will Chris Olave take another step? Will he transform into that true receiver one, or do we need to find a true receiver one?
So, I think it'll be one of those things where they expect Olave to be 1, Vele probably to be 2, just based off the investment you made in getting him. But also, I think Jalen Polk is the higher-end receiver. Like, I think is a higher ceiling than Vele. It's like, I think they're going Olave 1, Polk 2, Vele 3, and then from there, like that's the idea that they're walking into the offseason with. Like when you get to the no spending in free agency, no nothing like that. Understanding you have that. You have Mason Tipton as well.
Bub Means will be back.
Bub Means will be back. Is there another receiver we're missing? No, that's it. That's it. Because Rashichi got traded. So, yeah, you'll have Bub Means probably somewhere in that mix, too. And I it's just like,
Now, if wide receivers aren't great next year and we do end up drafting Jeremiah Smith with another top 5 pick
dude, I'm not going to
then he's our instant number 1.
Yeah, look.
You have a choice at that point.
Well, and honestly, it would be really nice because then you have Olave and Jeremiah Smith, but you can have them operate as 1A, 1B. And you can really just you have 2 great receivers. Like in a world where you're the Vikings and Jordan Addison could be arguably a wide receiver 1 on some rosters, he's your wide receiver 2. Like that's not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, look at the Bengals. Their offense is great.
Yeah, T. Higgins. He's a wide receiver 1 on most rosters. He is a wide receiver 2 there because he just is behind Jamar. There's nothing against him. Just that's how it is.
Jamar Chase is that good.
Hudat says Bub Means is injured right now, I'm sure. That is because he is injured. He got hurt the first preseason game.
We're talking about this upcoming offseason, what you're heading into the 2026 season, looking like at receiver, where Bub Means will be not injured, at least to start, hopefully. He gets injured again.
When are we going to draft offensive linemen since we lost Trevor Penning at the trade deadline? I said at the beginning of the mock draft that I would prefer to spend.
But I feel like we also got better when we got rid of Trevor.
Yeah, I actually think we got better.
It's not like we need to replace much. Okay, is there any guy in the draft that can give up a couple sacks a game and might get you a 15-yard penalty every once in a while?
Yeah.
Because if that's what we need to replace Trevor Penning, well then I guess sign us up.
Yeah, dude, I'll do that. No question about it. All right, we're gonna get into our second segment here. We're gonna go talk about Devaughn Vele. What the hell's going on? What the hell is going on? Alrighty. I have on the background here the Falcons collapsing. It's really funny. I don't know how they lost this game, dude. You had the lead with less than a minute, or with like less than 2 minutes. I don't know how you managed to lose it.
Jones out there looking like he's wearing lipstick. You lost to that.
I know, dude. Falcons suck, dude. They're so bad. Alrighty. Let's dive on in here. Oh, interesting nugget here. Will Clapp is on IR. Again, he also got hurt first preseason game. He's been helping out the Saints offensive line coach, Brendan Nugent, and working with the group. He was on the sideline this past week with a headset, and basically was an assistant coach. Pretty cool to have veterans. You got to tell you that. It's always valuable to have them. I know you guys don't like having old people, but it's nice to have them around.
Derek Carr, you want to come back, help out quarterback coach?
I'd prefer that didn't happen. I'd prefer not. All right, let's talk to Devaughn Vele. No, but freaking yawn. My days. All right, let's talk. What's going on with Devaughn Vele? We're going to figure it out. We're going to explain it to you. We're going to dive into some really interesting numbers because obviously, as we know, the Saints traded a 4th and a 7th round pick with the Denver Broncos in the preseason, but we have not seen them cash in on that trade. He's been underutilized. He hasn't been getting enough snaps. He hasn't been getting enough targets. He hasn't been getting nearly enough production. So what the hell is happening? Let's figure it out. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Don't forget to subscribe to today's channel. But let's tell you about Vele's stats so far in 2025. Since the New Orleans Saints traded a 4th and a 7th round pick for him in the preseason, a top 100 selection, by the way, he has 6 catches on 13 targets, 54 yards, 1 touchdown, and 9 yards per catch. Nice. Not. Look, I will also say something to consider. You have to understand there has been a few, honestly, nice catches and big chunks of yardage that were lost due to the Saints committing penalties, so it got wiped away. But Vele still has been wildly underutilized. 211 snaps in 2025. Less than a third of the snaps this season. You have a top 100 pick invested in this player. You traded away Rashid Shaheed. And you will find out here in a moment that we are seeing his snap count go up. But it's not really cashing in on the production. So how many yards will Devaughn Vele finish with? I would like to see at least 500. Like, to be totally honest, if you get less than 500, that feels really bad in terms of the vibes. Like, in I know vibes aren't how you look at a team, but like, it just doesn't feel good to invest that high-level pick into a player that didn't even get you 500 yards. Like, I think this back half of the season, we are going to see more. That's what Kellen Moore had to say. We're going to dive into that here in a second. But I want to look at the snap counts. Because remember, he got traded for in the preseason. But now we're sitting here after week 10, and his snap count has severely shot up since Rashid Shaheed was traded. R.I.P. my sweet prince. Week 10, 59 snaps. Ladies and gentlemen, he played 86.8% of snaps. You see in week 3, he played 0. In week 4, he played 4. I mean, look at that. Look at the drastic difference. And so the first thing is he hasn't been on the field enough. He hasn't been getting the opportunities to try to make plays, to go and get routes. And when you look at Devaughn Vele's snap count, it's obviously not something that is going to lead to a ton of production. Because those are wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 level snap counts, or, low level wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 snap counts. And he just isn't really putting up good production. Per game, it's not good. And I'm expecting these numbers to increase as we get through the back half of the season. But the per game averages are just frustrating, to say the least. Like, we got to be getting better in terms of the targets. We're not even getting a catch per game. I'm not asking for a touchdown per game, but can we get more than 5.5 yards per game? Like, what the hell are we doing here? It's a top 100 pick that you invested in this player, and it's just really frustrating, to say the least. And when you revisit the trade, you understand that the Saints were in a position where you needed a big-bodied receiver. You needed some size. You lost Bub Means to injury, and he went on season-ending IR. You needed size in the wide receiver room. And I thought that trading for a player that fits that mold is a good idea. I also thought we would have seen more in terms of cashing in on the trade. I thought he'd be a little bit more utilized. And I'm going to tell you something really interesting. Devaughn Vele led the New Orleans Saints in snap counts in terms of wide receivers. Don't believe me? Stick around and I'll prove it to you. Real ones are only allowed to subscribe to Saints Now, by the way. If you think you're a real one, and if you think you're a real Saints fan, I want you to test it out. Hit the sub button, and you'll take the test. Not going to let you down or anything, but if you hit the sub button and you're allowed to join the squad, the Golden Gang, that means you're a real one. And that means you're part of my family. So join the family, join the squad, hit the sub button, so that way you can get daily Saints content by fans, for fans, news, rumors, updates, interactive content, all right here. Join it if you're a real Saints fan. Now, the black and gold need to make right on their investment. I think I've said it about 5 or 6 times at this point. But that is something that I believe to be severely true. Remember how a moment ago I said Devaughn Vele led the Saints in snap counts in week 10? Well, let's take a look. I mean, look at this. He played 86% of snaps. That's more than Chris Olave, more than Brandon Cooks, more than anyone else on the roster. And the fact that he didn't get a ton of opportunities, it's a little frustrating. I mean, he was targeted. He got 1 catch on 3 targets. He was tied for target with Foster Moreau, Alvin Kamara. Juwan Johnson was second in targets. Chris Olave was first. And I think that it's really cool to see that his snap count increased. Kellen Moore said that would happen. But you need to make right on the investment. Now you're giving him the snaps. It's time to get the production. How do we do that? I have the answer in one moment. You guys need to check out the jerseys, though. I got my dog Dude one of these. He's really, really cute. He's going to have one very soon. If you want to get your furry friend one as well, chatsports.com/SaintsPet. Link is in the comments description. Kellen Moore saying that Devaughn Vele would have a very healthy role and he would be very involved moving forward. That's something that he said after Rashid Shaheed was traded. So now that we have seen him be honest with that, and we've seen that be the case, I mean, his snap count went from 12 snaps in Week 9. Granted, he didn't have a lot of snaps against the Rams, to 58, 29% to 86%. That's a drastic jump. Kellen Moore, he was honest. He told you what was going to happen, and that's what we got. Now it's time to see him be a bigger contributor. I want to see him be more involved in the offense. I want to see him get plays schemed up to him. And I'm not going to take anything away from Tyler Shough, and because I think that he was doing a good job of feeding the hot hands. Shough was very clearly comfortable throwing the ball to Chris Olave and throwing the ball to Juwan Johnson. Those were his obvious, most comfortable targets. Those are the guys he targeted the most by far. But I think that you need to utilize Devaughn Vele in a much better fashion. How do you do that? Line him up as a big-bodied slot receiver. He caught 60% of his contested catches in 2024. 44% of targets went to Chris Olave and Juwan Johnson yesterday. And I think that you could take some of those targets that you sent to other players and put them in for Devaughn Vele, and you could give him chances in the red zone. You could give him chances on third down. You could give him chances over the middle. You could give him chances down the seam. He's a big-bodied player. Let him go make big-bodied catches. He is really good in contested catch situations. I think if you line him up as a slot, that's where he excels the most. And I'm not asking the Saints to get him at 1,000 yards by any means, but can we get 500? I mean, the alignment for Devaughn Vele, it's like we're just not using it properly. He has always been better as a slot receiver. Out wide, 109 snaps so far this season. That's fine. I'm not going to get mad at that. But I think that we need to use him more often in the slot. Let's balance out the areas where he lines up in the alignment, and let's make Devaughn Vele make plays the way he knows how to and the way he's most effective. I think trading for Devaughn Vele was a smart move for New Orleans. I think that when you consider the facts that you had to make a decision on Rashid Shaheed, you had to take into consideration what you were going to do with Chris Olave's contract as well. When you trade for Devaughn Vele, he's only a second-year player. I know he's a little bit older, but you pushed back the timeline and the clock to pay a wide receiver 2 at least. And it's not like you have to pay a ton of money, but you push that back a little bit. And even if it's we have him around, we push it back for a couple of years, you draft a receiver top 10 next year, the year after, and the next few years, you're able to do that and not have to pay somebody because you now have Devaughn Vele. So, there is pros, there is cons. Shaheed was under contract year. You had to make decisions there, but I think trading for Devaughn Vele only makes sense and only makes the fan base happy if you see him get real production. You saw him finally get snaps. It's time for him to get some targets and some receptions and some yards and some touchdowns. And let's see him be a contributor. Now, I will give him credit, though. One thing I forgot to mention, Lopez, was the fact that he was also showing up as a blocker. There was one play, Alvin Kamara on a screen. Devaughn Vele, 25 yards downfield, blocking, driving a guy 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. I mean, nice. I'll take it. I'm happy with that kind of stuff. But again, I want to see him be a regular contributor as a receiver as well. Now, if you guys want to get more content in between these videos, hit me up on X, Instagram, or TikTok. Trizzy Trace on all 3 platforms. Search the name on either social media platform, or you can click the link in the comments and description to take you right there. I have been able to grow my accounts really, really well thanks to you guys, and I want to continue to do that, and I want to continue to give you guys content and continue the conversation on another platform, so hit me up, and y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time. Cool. Rumors mailbag coming up next.
Get those questions in. Get them in. We're going to talk mailbag. We're going to talk some Saints coaching rumors. Could we have a new coach coming soon? Maybe.
Just moving forward, just that. Yeah, you're good. No big deal or anything. Just like he sees he'll say something kind of deal. So I just want to make sure that we don't have that. God, how did the Falcons lose this game, dude? How did they lose this game? Use hashtag Saints. We're all Gucci there. Gucci down to the socks. Look up, Biggie Papa. Can we trade Devaughn Vele? I mean, sure, if you wanted to. Yeah, you're not getting your 4th and 7th back for him, considering he's doing worse than he did last year. Let's see. Kicker free agents.
I really think if you're going to try and find a good kicker, you might just have to bite the bullet and draft one.
Yeah, you just keep drafting them until you land one.
Like, there's a reason these guys are free agents.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is like when you find your kicker, don't move off your kicker, and we did Will Lutz because for some reason we thought that we needed to overcomplicate things. I don't know. There's not even a kicker. I don't think there's any kickers available in free agency next year. But
that's the New Orleans Saints way. Let's overcomplicate it all.
All right. These are the kickers available in 2026 free agency. Daniel Carlson, Matt Gay, Will Lutz, could bring him back, Joey Sly, Matt Prater, Michael Badgley, Eddie Pinheiro, Jake Bates. He's an exclusive rights free agent, though. Brandon Aubrey, restricted free agent. I mean, you could also just use like a 6th or 7th round pick on a kicker and just see what's up.
Who's been the good college kicker this year? Who's been like that guy in college?
Let's see. All right. The Hawaii kicker has been really good. He's 100%.
Can't say I've watched him.
22 of 22, a long of 52 yards. He's 1 of 1 from 50, 7 of 7 from 40 to 49. He's perfect on field goals and extra points. Georgia Tech's kicker, Aiden Burr. Yeah, Kanzi Matsuzawa. He's the Japanese kicker. He's that Japanese kicker. Yeah. They did like a hit on him on game day.
He has some fucked nickname, and I love it.
Yeah. I know exactly. I can't remember it either, but I know exactly about it. Georgia Tech's kicker, Ethan Sanchez out of Houston. Lucas Carneiro, Ole Miss's kicker. Trey Batowski, Pitt's kicker, UConn's kicker.
The Tokyo Toe. That's
what
it is.
Tokyo Toe, that's what it is. Tate Sandell out of OU. Damian Ramos out of LSU.
No, that guy sucks. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it, please. What about the Vanderbilt kicker? I know he has a leg on him. Is he accurate? I think his name's like Brock Taylor.
Let's see who has the longest field goal this year. Kyle Conradi, the kicker for Iowa State, made a 63-yarder this year. That's pretty cool. Well, there you have it. So who's the best punters? Let's draft the punter 3rd overall. Trade back and get a punter.
Mock draft 5.0. You're not gonna be ready for it.
Oh my god, I might do just like an absurd mock draft and be like, all right, we're gonna do like a reverse mock draft where we prioritize kicker and punter, and then we go like quarterback last.
Diego Pavia, round 10.
All right, let's dive in. Mailbag and rumors coming up here, plus some news around the league. team fired their head coach today. Who? Let's tell you about it.
Not the same.
Let's tell you about
Is
it.
it?
Let's tell you about it. Let's tell you about it. Let me do one thing here real quick. I forgot to change this whenever I was scripting. Oh my God, the Falcons are about to lose this game. Wait, did they lose? They did lose.
It's tied right now. I don't know what happens next.
I don't know what happens. I wonder if the Falcons will blow a lead because they tend to have a problem doing that. What is the funniest way to lose a game? I don't know. Ask a Falcons or a Giants fan. Caden Ellis never should have left. Should have never left. Chased the money. It went to a rival. Loyalty is dead. All right.
Are they about to lose? Is this the Jonathan Taylor play? Oh, he's so close. If I turn my webcam at the TV, will we get kicked off YouTube?
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
/ we will get in trouble with the bosses.
Sorry, guys.
Can't show the game.
We can't watch the Falcons losing together. You just got to take my word for it. They're about to lose.
They're going to lose. It's yesterday's game.
Or is it?
All right. Well, this is like the longest game highlights I've ever seen. And Jonathan Taylor, stutter step,
Hey, Colts
touchdown.
lost. Or Colts won.
All right. Let's get into the rumors here on Saints Now. Use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat if you would like to get on the show. If you want to skip the line, hashtag Saints is a free way to get on, but skip the line by sending a super chat. Let's dive on in. My name's Trizzy. Welcome to the show. You're watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of our Rumors segments. We're going to be getting an opportunity to look at a potential upgrade at OC this offseason, thanks to the latest NFL news. We're going to get to a Q&A with the Golden Gang. The subscribers have questions. Me and Lopez have answers, and we're going to break it on down here on the channel. And I want to just have a fun little game here. Comment your favorite player on the Saints roster, but you cannot say any legends. It's the only rule. So no Alvin Kamara, no Taysom Hill, no Cam Jordan, no Demario Davis. Not allowed to do it. But, is it Danny Stutzman? Is it Olave? Is it Devaughn Vele? Is it Quincy O'Reilly, Kool-Aid McKinstry? Share your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me know. Have some fun with this one. The latest NFL news is as follows. Brian Daboll, he's out in New York. The Giants making him the scapegoat. I don't think that was the right decision, to be totally honest. I think that they would have been better off firing Joe Schoen as well, but they don't have any plans of doing that. And I do think Brian Daboll is a player or is a coach that is a really, really smart offensive mind. I think he was in a pretty bad spot with New York. He had them moving well, but, bad management just really never helped him out. And I actually thought that he had something good going with Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboot. To be totally honest, I figured that they would get Joe Schoen out before they got Brian Daboll, but I also know that that's not really how it works. At the end of the day, though, Daboll, he is now a free agent as a coach. And I put this out on social media the minute that this news dropped. For what it's worth, I'm not saying they need to go and look at an upgrade at offensive coordinator, but, you should always be kicking the tires. You should always be taking a look at what's available in terms of players, but also coaching staff as well, because Brian Daboll has been a really, really good offensive coach for a really long time. He has a ton of experience at the college level and at the professional level. He is coached with Alabama. He's coached with the Giants. He is coached with he was the Bills coach when Josh Allen was emerging. I mean, he was the 2022 Coach of the Year. And I think that when you take into account all of his experience as an offensive coach, coordinator, QB coach, tight end coach, wide receiver coach. He also served as defensive assistant and head coach with the Giants. Not the defensive assistant with the Giants, but that's another position he held. he's a football guy. I've always liked Brian Daboll as a coach. I like him as a football guy. I think that New York is a tough place to play. I don't think that they have the most stable situation. And when you think about what you have currently in New Orleans with Doug Nussmeier, I'm not saying it's horrible. But again, you always need to look at ways to improve. And one thing that I need to make very clear, I don't expect Kellen Moore to fire Doug Nussmeier or move off him. I mean, Nussmeier has followed Kellen Moore around in multiple places, including New Orleans. So when you do have this conversation, you have to figure out how do you replace Doug Nussmeier with Brian Daboll and what is exactly his role. We know Kellen Moore is the play caller for the Saints. So I think that's part of why it works, where Nuss can kind of be the behind-the-scenes guy and Kellen Moore can be the play caller. But I also think, the offense has left a lot to be desired. And having a former coach of the year and a guy who was just in the playoffs a couple of years ago and somebody who's been really successful when it comes to working with quarterbacks, I think it's not a bad thing to consider. Don't expect major changes, though. Again, I'm not saying Saints are going to fire Nussmeier. I don't think that that's actually something that will happen. I think they'll give this coaching staff a few years. But if he gets poached, if he goes elsewhere, if he decides he wants to leave for whatever reason, then yeah, you're going to need to look at an option. Brian Daboll is a dude that I expect to get some serious interest across football, whether it's professional or college. All in all, I think that the Saints should at least kick the tires. You need to take every opportunity you can to try to improve your roster, your coaching staff, your organization, your management as a whole, because right now you're kind of at rock bottom and you need to get back up top. And doing things the same way and expecting change but not changing anything, that's called going crazy, and it feels like we're starting to get a little crazy. Now, what do you think of the Saints coaching staff? Just share your thoughts. Nussmeier, Tolzien, Kellen Moore, Brandon Staley, Keith Williams. Share your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys think of this entire coaching staff. I like it. I think that they could be better, but I do really believe that this is a good squad that could stick together for quite some time because of the nucleus around Kellen Moore, Nussmeier, and Brandon Staley. Now we're going to get into our Q&A portion of today's video with the Golden Gang. The subscribers of our channel have questions and we have answers. We do this every single live show that we do because it's one of my favorite segments. We get to have a conversation and you guys get to write the content. I just get to have the conversation and talk with you guys. But first things first, got to thank today's presenting sponsor, Prize Picks. This episode of Saints Now is brought to you, Prize Picks. We make decisions every single day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season where it's good to be right over at Prize Picks. It's simple to play. You just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. It's the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. So if you want to pick more on Tyler Shough's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. I have a pretty cool lineup for you this week if you want to take a look at it. NFC South matchup, Falcons versus Panthers. The Saints are on a bye, so we're going to take a look at the division and try to make some money. 2 players score a touchdown in that game, and then our sweet prince, Rashid Shaheed, he scores a touchdown as well. 3 touchdowns, your boy wins. I believe it was $300+ on $20. Are you kidding me? That's so easy. The Demon Picks make a little bit harder to hit, but the payout is totally worth it. I highly encourage you to check out Prize Picks if you haven't already. They use so many features to maximize the experience for the users, and they put users first. All withdrawals are fast and secure. PrizePicks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this season. Download the PrizePicks app today and join millions of users on America's #1 fantasy sports app. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Shout out to PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. Use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup on PrizePicks. All right, Billy D, 3,200. I don't like this question. Real ones, no. I picked off Kyler Murray in indoor flag football. That's half of my personality. And no, I have no interest in training for Kyler Murray. I don't care. Like, we could get 5 first-round picks. I still don't want Kyler Murray. It's the principle of it. He sucks, and I cannot root for somebody that I got to pick 6 off of. Next question. I mean, I guess if you get a couple first-round picks in a future second. No, I'm just not doing it. Just not doing it. Jaden, Trace and Lopez. I know I've been only one game, or it's only been one game, but do you think that Chris Olave and Shough could be a good duo for a long time? Yeah, I do. I mean, obviously they have chemistry. You could tell that they were comfortable in terms of Chris Olave catching the ball and Tyler Shough throwing the ball. Saw a lot of opportunities. Olave led the team in targets, as he should, and I think that that's the best game we've seen with Chris Olave, dare I say, since Derek Carr's been throwing the football. No disrespect to Spencer Rattler, but I mean, Olave was dropping a lot of passes from Spencer Rattler. What you got, Lopez?
Obviously, agree with everything you just said. I think the most telling part yesterday, the most promising part that I really liked was that deep bomb, that first touchdown. It showed that Tyler Shough trusted Olave downfield, and we got a little bit of a vintage Olave game yesterday. New quarterback, maybe that was the juice that was hyping him up.
I agree, and I do know that Chris Olave has been active with Keith Williams, saying that he wants to get more of those deep shots. Rashid Shaheed's gone now, so you need somebody to do those deep shots. So now you have the opportunity to give those to number 12. That's something he wants, makes him happy. I think it's a good recipe. And I think Tyler Shough's deep ball is one of the strengths that he has in terms of his game. William, do you think the play calling was different for Shough than it was for Rattler? Yeah, it was, because they're different quarterbacks. They're different players. They have different strengths. They have different weaknesses. Of course it was different. I don't think that it was like if the question is, do you think Tyler Shough was, or do you think Spencer Rattler was sabotaged by Kellen Moore's play calling? No, I don't think that's it at all. I think that Spencer Rattler went out there and had an opportunity. I think he did not do amazing after he started off very, very good. But I think Tyler Shough is just a better football player. I think he's a better quarterback. There's a reason Rattler was taken in the 5th, and there's a reason Shough was taken in the 2nd, whether you agreed with the pick or not. I mean, it was very, very abundantly clear that Shough was a good quarterback yesterday. And yes, the play calling was different for Shough than it was for Rattler. And that's because they're different players. Jerry G, Trizzy and Loco, after the Saints come off the bye week with 7 games to go, what do you think the record will be when they finish? And listed out all the possibilities for us, Lopez. I don't think anything like 9-8, no. 8-9, no. 7-10, absolutely not. 6-11, probably not. 5-12 is probably where I land for New Orleans. Remaining on the schedule, you have Falcons home. Lopez, feel free to come on screen here too. Falcons at home, at Miami, at Tampa Bay, Panthers at home, Jets at home, at Tennessee, and then at Atlanta. Yeah, it's right here on the screen. Lopez pulled up the schedule right here.
I had to Google it before I gave my record prediction.
Yeah, so I think you can win one of those against Atlanta. I mean, this Falcons game at home after the bye, I feel like that has a potential win on it. Miami, I think you can beat. Tampa, I'm going to say no. Carolina, you already beat once. Why can't you do it again? Jets, you can probably beat. Wait, so I said Falcons, Miami, Carolina, Jets. Titans are the win. And then at Atlanta, so at least 5. We're at 2, so 7 wins. Did I just give us 7 wins?
I think we're talking about they could win this game, they could win this game. I think ceiling is 5 wins.
I think the ceiling is 5.
I think the ceiling's 5. You might think, they're better than the Dolphins. They should have no problem. That's not how sports works.
Yeah, we also just saw the Dolphins beat the Bills. So, shit happens.
I will say what is a little bit concerning is if the Saints do fall into 5 wins, you're looking at a 12 pick. 10, 11 pick, and I don't know if that's going to be the difference maker that we really need heading into 2026.
No, that's a really, really good point. That's something definitely to think about. The Saints, by the way, are not going to actively tank and lose games. That is not something they're going to do. They're going to give Tyler Shough the chance to win games. They're going to try to get him to win games. And for what it's worth, Saints fans, I think you should be rooting for that because, in my opinion, the best case scenario is Tyler Shough pans out and is your quarterback for the future. You still lose some of these games, but you still have a top 5 pick. That's probably the best case scenario. And you can still draft a couple dogs and trade around and get more capital back. But the best case scenario is not losing out and getting the first overall pick. That's not the best thing for the Saints. The best, if you go and win a bunch of games, shit, man, it's not a bad news. That means Tyler Shough is a winning quarterback and a competent and a capable guy, and I don't know why you would root against that. Anything else on this one, Lopez? Okay. Appreciate the question, Jerry G. Jesus, Caleb Downs, Jonas Sanker, Minzor Delane, Quincy Riley, Cooley, and McKinstry in the secondary would be great. I do really like Caleb Downs. I think he's arguably, between him and Arvell Reese, two best players in college football on the defensive side. And they're both on Ohio State, which is crazy. Quincy Riley, I really like him. Jonas Sanker, I really like him. Kool-Aid McKinstry starting to develop a little bit more. I don't know much about Minnesota Delane, the cornerback out of LSU.
Dog. He will be a first-round pick. Unfortunately, you'll not be able to get both Caleb Downs and Minnesota Delane without trading.
Yeah, he lines up in the corner a lot, out wide. Can line up in the box and slot, has some versatility there, but great against coverage, great in the run defense, great on man, great in zone. Yeah, this is a nice play a lot. I mean, 34.7 passer rating when targeted, only allowed 119 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 intercept. I like this player a lot, but like Lopez said, you're not getting Caleb Downs and Delane unless you trade back and you'd have to pull some crazy shit to make that happen. Whether it's trading back into the first round, trading back, I don't know how you would make that happen, but yeah, it would be great. It's also just not realistic, but yes, it would be great. Pablo, give me a better tight end, and you fix up the defense. You got a Super Bowl team, a wide receiver team. Yeah. Also get some better guards, get a better kicker, better punter. I agree. Fix a lot of things, and yeah, we could get there, but you got to fix a lot of things. Mickey Loomis hasn't been the best at showing that he can do that. I mean, I think that it's not a simple recipe of one off season or a Super Bowl contender. Like, I love the optimism, and I do consider myself a very optimistic fan, but like realistically, you also have to understand that the Saints are not going to be competing for a Super Bowl anytime soon. They need to shore up the interior of the offensive line. I think you got your tackles for the long term. Eric McCoy needs to stay healthy for a season if they want to go on a Super Bowl run. You're going to need to see better consistency out of the wide receiver room. You're going to need to be better at running. Like, I love Alvin Kamara. He's not getting any younger. You need to find ways to increase your rushing production. You just had a great game against the Panthers, but it was one game. You need to do it a lot throughout the season. They're really healthy, which is awesome. But they're also really healthy and only have 2 wins. So I think it's more than just better tight end and a wide receiver too. Fix up the defense. I mean, got to get better pass rushing. Got to get better against the run. Add some DBs. Add some corners. Like, this is a multi-year rebuild. And I think they're doing it right. But I think that the Super Bowl team is like 3 years away, if that makes sense. Like, I think next year we'll be really feeling promising about it. And then if it's not, you just get the quarterback and then you really open up your window. All right. Couple more questions, I believe. How do y'all feel about Justin Reed? I feel like he's been a huge disappointment this season. Too many to miss tackles and just missing his assignments. Look, I don't think Justin Reed has been bad. I don't think he's been great, but I don't think he's been horrible. And I think that a lot of fans are expecting him to replace Tyrann Mathieu, but the reality is he is top 10 as a pass rusher as a safety in the NFL. He's in the top half of just overall safeties, which I know it's not anything crazy, but like, he's really good against the run. Like, that's something he's really, really good at. He's 13th in run defense according to Pro Football Focus. 56.6 coverage grade. I know he could be better in that regard. That's not something that he's been great at. He needs to do better at stopping or at breaking at passes and being more disruptive in that regard. But against the run, he's been phenomenal. And that's something I think is really where he's more suited, is the run stopper and kind of the commander down below. And I think he's a little bit like, reminds me a little bit Tyrann Mathieu-esque, where it's, you don't need him to be dropping back and making plays athletically in the back, or back deep a ton. That's now Jonas Sanker. So like, I agree, it's been a little bit disappointing, but I don't think huge disappointment. And he's missing everything he does. And like, I don't think that's. I think he gets a lot of unfair criticism, but I do think that he could have been better, and I think that he has been disappointing. All in all, I think that he could be better at missing the tackles. Let's actually look here. In terms of missed tackle, he has 38 tackles. Missed tackles, he has 7. That's 61st according to PFF. So do what you want with that information. 2 pass breakups, 18 Catches allowed. Do what you want. I agree. He has been disappointing, but I think he gets a little bit too harsh of criticism. Appreciate you guys for tuning into today's video. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. For my guy Loco Lopez, we discussed some NFL news, some Saints rumors, some fun off-season conversations, and we answered questions and responded to hot takes from the Golden Gang. Thank you guys for watching today's video and for always tuning in and being subscribed to the channel. If you haven't already, lock us in for more free content by Saints fans for Saints fans. My name's Trizzy for Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we will see you next time. All right, let's get on out of here. No super chats on the day, so we're not going to do a shot clock because we didn't get any super chats, so there's really no reason to kind of stick around. My name's Trizzy for Loco. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with us. It's been an awesome hour and 7 minutes that we've hung out with you guys. Hope you enjoyed the content, and we will see y'all next time.